Welcome back. Last time we defined history as the study of change over time, and we noted some important benefits of engaging with our past, including a better understanding of the present, the preservation of our collective memory, and the intellectual freedom we discover when we allow ourselves the flexibility to seriously dialogue with the past. Now, let's turn to the difficulties that the study of history presents. The most vexing difficulty, I think, is the search for truth. Is what is written in the history book or in the memoirs of historical actors really the truth? Is it really what happened? In answering these questions, it's important to differentiate facts from opinions. There's a tendency to think that historians concentrate on discovering the facts of a past event, when in reality they deal much more specifically with opinions related to that event. In fact, whenever historians look at an historical period, they continually try to separate opinions from facts. Let me give you an example. If we were at Yankee Stadium watching a Yankees-Mets game, there are certain facts that everyone there, all 54,000 people, would agree on. The date, the time, the score. Yet if you ask each person there what they thought about the game or what their favorite play was, we'd get 54,000 different opinions. Some of them might be similar, but we'd still have a huge variety. The same applies to the war the U.S. fought in Iraq in the first decade of the 21st century. Regarding the war, there are facts and there are opinions. The facts would be, for instance, that the conflict started on March 20th, 2003, and that the U.S. government called it Operation Iraqi Freedom, and that it led to the capture of Saddam Hussein, the head of the Iraqi government. Opinions, on the other hand, would include your personal views on the war. Do you approve or disapprove? How about the person next to you on the subway or bus? What do they think? What did President George Bush think about the war? And how is that opinion different from what Barack Obama thinks about it? What do the Iraqis think of the conflict at this point? As you can see, a multitude of opinions can be associated with any given event. Historians aim not only to identify opinions and any reasoning behind them, but also aim to analyze the impact of opinions on the facts, on the events that have caused the changes that have influenced the world we live in today. In this course, you will be an historian. So as we go through the semester, try to keep facts and opinions separate in your mind. Don't confuse opinion for fact, and don't confuse opinion for truth. We spoke earlier about an analytical method. Let's try to spell out more specifically what that means. The first order of business is to collect the data, the facts about the historical phenomenon that we're studying, and let's just call it Event X. These data might be people, places, dates, anything that we can affirm with verifiable certainty, usually based on well-established primary sources. Opinions are statements of belief about Event X that typically embody a value judgment. For example, it's a fact that on April 14th, 1865, John Wilkes Booth, an actor and Confederate sympathizer, fatally shot President Abraham Lincoln at Ford's Theater in Washington, D.C. Now, if I claim that Lincoln was a fool to set foot in a public theater and deserved to be shot, I'm setting forth my opinion. It is neither true nor false, it's just an evaluative belief that I happen to hold. But that doesn't mean it's worthless. If such a statement were issued by a contemporary of Lincoln, such as Ulysses S. Grant, it would be very important for understanding the relationship between these two men. When we attempt to interpret the significance of Event X, we assemble both the facts and opinions that surround it and ask ourselves, how does Event X speak to us? What's its meaning in and for our world? So, how do we begin to overcome these interpretational difficulties? The best way is simply to keep an open mind. You should be flexible in your interpretation of what you read this semester, because that will help you better understand the opinions of past societies. Knowing the facts and the dates, that's the easy part. The opinions of the people that lived in that time are more difficult to gauge, and that's why being flexible can help you gain a more balanced understanding of history. Try to think about the motivations behind opinions instead of just reacting to them. Being flexible can also help you better understand the opinions of your peers in this class. All of you will be interacting with each other, exchanging interpretations and opinions, and you'll gain a lot more from these interactions if you're flexible and you keep an open mind. Try to understand why your peers have adopted their points of view. Finally, an open mind helps you better understand your own opinions. This is something that we don't often do, but we should. Ask yourself, why do I believe what I do? What are the reasons for my belief? You'd be surprised at how often we don't know the reasons for our most fundamental assumptions. To conclude, here are 3 words for this course and beyond. Communicate, respect, and enjoy. You should communicate clearly both with your instructor and your peers. It's the best way for you to understand each other. And when you do communicate with respect. You will all be voicing opinions throughout the semester, and you should be respectful of others' viewpoints, both when you write your own interpretations and when you respond to others' contributions. Beyond that, one simple thought: enjoy the course. This semester and this class are about learning, an activity which is inherently joyful. Let's get started.